Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going to talk about Harbor. Now, I've been trying to make this video for a long time now, and it's gone through a bunch of different variations. It started as me trying to prove the pros wrong and show that Harbor's good.
It's the worst agent they've ever added. I'll say it. I'll be the one.
Yeah, why would you ever pick that character?
Alright, what are our thoughts about Harbor? Dog shit, right?
And then eventually, I landed on this conspiracy that teams actually knew Harbor was good, and they were hiding it from us so they could show it off at lock-in. And that's just it. They aren't saying it in public, because they know something that we don't. That something is what I'm going to be showing here today. I got pretty far into making that one, and then I realized I wasn't going to be able to upload it before lock-in started, so it kind of became useless. But it may have been a good thing, because while I did have to scrap that video, I think I have a better one here for you. Because I was right, for the most part. There was a large amount of Harbor being played at lock-in, and now we can go over why it worked, and why I think that Harbor is the future. It's been a long time, but ladies and gents, welcome back to Starting in the 70s. Throughout lock-in, there were two maps that Harbor really excelled on, Pearl and Icebox. Pearl had Harbor as a core member in both Loud and DRX's comps. Naturally, since both of these teams made the top 4 in this tournament, I thought it'd be a good idea to watch them play each other on Pearl and see what both teams did well. Alright, I'm not messing around anymore, guys. We have this round here that we're going to look at from the DRX Loud game, and this should show you Harbor's strengths in defaulting and preventing defenders from taking early space, clearing mains to scale up, execs, fast retaking, and like playing post plant from the defensive side. Like, sounds like a lot, right? It kind of is. What Harbor brings to the table on Pearl is what makes him feel too good to go without. Let's start with this round here. This round is going to be split into two halves. It's going to be what DRX does well on offense and what Loud does well on defense. Obviously, we're going to start with DRX here. We're going to see right away that they are defaulting on this A side because they're trying to get Harbor ult. They want this ult orb because he will have ult and then they can just go to whatever site they really want. They're going to put a KJ turret right here to make sure no one pushes this mid area. And Viper's just going to be hanging out here, making sure the defense doesn't have too much fun trying to push up B main. Going to happen really quick. What they're going to do at the start of the round here is they're going to have a Harbor push wall go there. And they're going to sky flash right around the corner just to see if anyone's in the area. You can see that right here at the start of the round. If you just watch the minimap, there's the wall. And then the sky flash hits right away. And on the other side of the map here, you can see the defense is trying to take this B main space. And Mako, the Viper right here, really just, he wants to set up the Viper wall for sight, for the eventual sight hit. So he kind of just throws up his orb and then just stands on the other side and sets it up. He really kind of doesn't care what this team is doing. So, you know, they push up a little bit. At this point, your A players have gotten the orb, and now they're just kind of running away. They don't really care about being there anymore. And you can kind of see what the Sky is going to do here after they've done this little A main section is she's going to run over to mid, and she's going to dog up this art area. And the reason for that is kind of just like a fun little game of like, let's stress out the defense. Because they've had a lot of pressure on this A main area. Now they're throwing more pressure on this art area. And they haven't really shown very much on this B side. You know, your defense is pushed up. All you've seen is a Viper who kind of plays a lurk role on this map. So like the defense is like, oh shoot, I gotta get some people over on this A side. And in the meantime, you know, DRX is just running back to B. They kind of just want to go B now that they have Harbor ult. After this guy is done dogging here, you're gonna see she just pops ult so that they can clear out these B players. And the defense just sent a sky flash into there to see if anyone's still there. And obviously it hits, but you know, they saw Viper pretty early, so it doesn't really tell them a whole lot. They go back to the minimap, and the sky pops ult right about here. And they're looking to go towards this B area. And in response to that Skydog, Tui's on the defense is like, oh man, I really gotta help these A players. And he throws a wall like this over mid. And just runs back towards B site to try and help there a little bit. So now, DRX does the really easy job of just following the sky ult, and once it gets to about this point, you know that, oh okay, all of this B main push is covered. So they can kind of just run up for free and do what they want on their execute, which involves just throwing a push wall from Harbor here, so they can free clear out all of this space on B long, and they can have the execute their way. So you see that now, they're running up, and the push wall comes to about the edge there, like you see. And the only place now that the defense could play is in that little cubby or against pillar. And I mean, the best thing you're hoping for in that scenario is maybe you get like 2 and then get traded out. So obviously the defense just kind of sits back and plays on site. They don't want to risk anything crazy. And DRX, now that they're pushed up long, get the easiest side exec you've ever seen. They use their Harbor ult that they just got. Yay, fun. Good thing you took A main. And they're going to sky flash through this wall. And they're going to send like 1 molly. And it's going to force everyone to clear out. Like, look how fast this came. They sky flashed here. They send a molly that hits the floor about right there. And they do like the normal Harbor wall that covers street, heaven, hell. And that's all it takes. Once they do all that, they can just run through all they want. They send another flash just to be safe, you know, in case someone's sitting this back default. And now they get to run up and they plant. And we end part 1. Now we get to the fun part of how does Loud respond to this? What are they going to do now that, you know, they've given up the site? It was such an easy hit from DRX. Well, they're going to play fast retake with Harbor ult and a sky ult of their own. You know, when in Rome, you got both, why not use them? So as soon as Stax taps the bomb right here, boom, in comes defensive Harbor ult. In comes the defensive sky ult. And it immediately hits Buzz playing U-Haul here. They get a kill. They get the ping right here in the sky from the Harbor ult that someone is planning in the cove. So they put up the defensive Viper wall to separate the two on site, and they just go to town. The sky ult just went in there and hit both players. They melt the cove right here, and they're both going to get hit by this Harbor ult. And it's just a massacre. In the 5-second span of that spike tap, 3 people on DRX die, and Les just like killed himself. You know, what are you going to do? It happens. So now the only response that DRX has in this round is, you know, drop the KJ ult and, you know, maybe it'll buy you enough time. So Loud runs on. You can't really see it because of this, but behind the Viper orb, they dropped a cove. And they're like, all right, let's just see if we can defuse it. You know, maybe it'll work. The orb goes down, they see the cove, and they just spam it. And now, look at the time. The time on the KJ ult's getting pretty low. And not everyone's going to make it out of here. I mean, there's still 3 people pretty comfortably on site. So they start running back, and they're like, oh, what are we going to do here? And Tui says, no, don't worry, guys. I got it. Harbor wall. And he just completely cuts off these defenders. Or I guess the post planners. So everyone on Loud, you know, 2 people detained, but you still got 2. Why not just run on site, you know? Try and get a defuse. What is DRX going to do? Are they going to run through the wall? I mean, if you're holding that, they just die. It's not really a good option. So they do the only thing they can do, and they fall back here, and they just start spamming through the wall. Once you get everybody back from being detained on Loud here, they're going to say, okay, we got this Harbor wall. One person, let's get on the spike, and Kawanzin just flash through the wall. We're gonna play Sadak Go Kill. A really fun strat, and it works really well for this team. So here comes, they send the flash, Kawanzin gets on the bomb, and Sadak comes through. Both of these DRX players are flashed here, so Sadak just gets a free push. They know that Loud's on the spike, and then they have to peek. So Aspas gets one right there, gets traded, and then Sadak just gets the other one. And it's just an easy defuse. They win the round. And that's what makes Harbor so scary on a map like Pearl. B site on this map is just like Icebox. It requires a comp that can either stall out site hits for an eternity or has very good retaking capabilities. In order for defenders to just survive on the map, they need one of those. And for attackers to play, you need to be able to pressure each part, each lane on this map to really spread the defenders thin. But you can't just have that. You need to be able to also exec a site after you do that. And Harbor just allows you to do all of it. On both sides, you can play defense well, you can play offense well. He does it all. It's what makes him incredible. And that's just Pearl. You know, we're going to move on to Icebox after this and see what makes him good. Ironically, it's the same exact teams. It's the next map in the series. You know, it's DRX versus Loud Icebox map 2. So let's go check that one out and let's see how similar it actually ends up being. Because he dominates on that map as well. So let's check it out. Boom, welcome to Icebox. Alright, this is going to look a little different because we're in Valorant. But we saw what Harbor was good at on Pearl. He was good at defaulting. He was good at just clearing out mains, taking space real slowly. That's what he's good at. You don't like any of that? Don't need to like it. It's Icebox. You want to go fast? That's what we're good for. Here's what you can do with Harbor. You want B site? B site is really easy with Harbor. All you gotta do, send a push wall that goes like this and will stop about here. And that allows you to clear out all this space. Don't even need a Sova, don't need anything like that. Once you get that, come here, boom, cascade right here. Now you can clear yellow, completely free. That guy's alone. Not good enough for you? Then use your Harbor wall and either do that. You can take Snowman, whatever you want, or you can be a little more traditional with it, and you can do that. Now, all you got to do is fight this space. And then you drop your Cove, plant the bomb, easy peasy. Don't need a Sova, don't need a Sage, just play a Sky instead. You want A site? That's what you do right at the start of the round. Put your little Harbor guy right here, set a push wall, boom. Put it right there, clear out all of this space. They might want to push up, you're not going to let them. Once you get that, send a push wall there. Now you get to clear out maze and all that. Once you get to that spot, all you got to do is send a little Harbor wall that goes like that. Cove right here, plant the bomb. Easy. You got your site. You want to go fast with Harbor? Icebox is your map. He's so good because he is being used nowadays to just completely erase Sage. The problem that people said is, oh, Cove can't replace Sage Wall, the enemy just shoots it. But what happens when you have a Harbor Wall and they can't see where they're shooting? That sounds silly, but let's get into a round. I'll show you it in action here. This is DRX versus Loud. This is the next map that I told you about. We're going to see this play in action. I want you to look at the attack side here. Oh, I almost just pressed my Valorant control instead of my Epic Pen. So, Loud is on attack, they're grouping up B, and they just want to go fast. They just like going fast on B. They're going to do almost the exact Harbor push wall I told you. They're going to stop it a little early because they have a specific play around it. So let's play it forward a little bit, and we're going to see what happens. Hit the wrong button. There we go. So they just start flooding in here. You can see Buzz is opping, and the operator is the reason that they've changed this play a little bit. So you can see they stopped the push wall about here, and once it stops, they're going to pop flash the other side. So they get the information from Sky if anyone is in this area. Once they have that, they can just start pushing up again and pushing up. And they use, oh yeah, Sawdog gets picked. Pretty sad. Good play by Buzz. Now they use another push wall from Harbor. You can see it right here. And what this is going to do is it's going to push straight through all the way to cut off Snowman. And they're using a Sky Dog to clear out Yellow. Now they have all of this space. And Buzz is pushed back. He was the only one playing sight. So they get to run up. And now the Viper Wall and the Harbor Wall are both coming up. The Viper Wall is the regular one you usually see that goes across. And the Harbor one is the one that allows them to fight Snowman. So because of both of them being up at the same time, you get to fight this little area and then cross, and then you get to fight only this little area. And you get all of that space. And while the rest of the Harbor's team is going and doing that, he's just going to throw a cove right here and he's going to plant inside it. And you'll see nobody is going to spam it. Because how could they? They don't know where the cove is because no one's close enough to see. So the team pushes up. Tui's taps the bomb because he wants to see if anyone's going to use mollies. And you can see right here, he's holding the cove. He throws it on the ground and he just plants right inside it. Nobody spams it. It is a sage wall. And they have no idea where to spam. So they just get this plant for free. And because of Harbor's flexibility with this wall, now his team has full control of Snowman. Harbor is super good for just running places that you want to go on Icebox. And as we saw in the last map, he's really good for retaking on defense. So on defense, you see a play like this, and you just send like a Harbor Wall like that. And you just start fighting, and the odds that you win are not too bad. DRX wins this round. As good of a play as this was from Loud, DRX does win this round. So that's the viability of Harbor here. While Pearl and Icebox were the two maps where Harbor excelled the most at lock-in, we've still seen him played on maps like Haven, Lotus, and even Split with the NA Challengers League recently. This past tournament has really just scratched the surface of what teams think about Harbor and how good they believe he can be. With the first split of the franchise leagues coming up soon, I'd stay tuned in, because when teams start playing Harbor, you might see some comps that are gonna blow your mind. That's all for today. I hope I've been able to help you guys start to realize why Harbor is going to be such an important member of Valorant in the future. And keep your eyes out, because there may or may not be another video coming about a different new agent that's going to help in this takeover. If you want to be around when that video comes, go ahead and subscribe and hit the bell so you can know exactly when the next videos are coming. Thanks for watching, and as always, have a great day.